last year. But it's certainly maybe Yarnak's time here, and even if he doesn't manage to get that far in the MSL, even if he loses, say, in the next round, he still has the fact that he beat Flash 2-0 to boost his morale and help his game as he goes. And I think maybe, do you think maybe the fact that Luxury, his twin brother, who's always been slightly better than him, do you think the fact he's moving on to another team might actually help Yarnak psychologically? He's now the top Zerg of OGN.
I have no idea. I'm not really sure where that came from, but he just played really well. What do you think we're going to see from him in the rest of the event is what I want to know. We're coming up to the round of 16 now, and he was definitely not someone I expected to see advance. But I'm now that I saw him play the way he did in that last game versus Flash, I would really like to see him go even farther.
I don't know. I haven't seen much of him recently, other than these two games. I didn't watch the MSL group, MST group where he was playing before. I don't think. Did I actually? I'm not sure exactly if I did or not. I've seen so many games recently. Oh God, but no, I haven't seen much of him. I think recently, and these two games against Flash were absolutely well done. Though he certainly studied Flash well before going to this group, I think, and found out exactly what to do. I mean, the second game going for the 12 pool, which is certainly not necessarily what you would expect at all for Zerg versus Terran on this map. But just anticipating it well. In the first game, going for that 9 pool and just ramming it home there. I mean, I think he's definitely improved from what I've seen last time around. When he was unfortunately put in the round of 16 with a bunch of Zergs and just could not come out on top. I think he has a lot of potential. I'm not going to say anything about him going all the way or anything. There's a much longer road for him, but certainly he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'd like to see some good things from him, but he's shown these sparks before and then fizzled out. So I guess we'll just have to wait
Yeah.
and see what happens.
All right, here comes the goofy part of every caller commentary you guys know and love since we've been a little too serious recently. Now, Louder, you've never seen me play Protoss, I believe. You've never seen my Protoss game against Vilda, have you? I casted it about a month ago.
No, although I have played
Okay.
Vilda, so I would be hopeful that you did win.
I did win. Now I was playing Protoss, and Protoss, I'm actually an A player in Protoss and Icy Cup. But I've invented my own build here. It's the fast expand into Forge, and fast expand with the Forge rather, into two Stargates, into fast disruption web, immediately into carriers. I'm talking about skipping reverse air because I can't handle reverse air and going straight carriers and using the D web to hold me off against a Hydralisk rush. Basically, I save all my minerals for cannons. I get D web. I try to hold off. The Hydralisk with some smart D-web, and then I get maybe 3 to 5 carriers, and I make a run for the Zerg. And if he hasn't scouted me, he's really surprised when he sees 5 carriers in his base. What do you think about that build? Do you think it has any chance of working, or do you think it's just not optimal in any sense and it'll just totally fail?
Well, I do Sair into carrier on maps like Troy. Um, I think on most maps, it's probably not the best route. Just the timing. He can drop 8 overlords full of hydras in your base before you have carriers, and you're not going to have enough disruption webs to deal with that. Even worse, I mean, what are you going to do if he just matches your tech, takes the map, and goes mass muta scourge devourer? That will be embarrassing, wouldn't it? But I think if you're going to do that, you really need to get like some speed zealots, because if you fast expand, 2 Stargate Corsair is not going to spend your money at all. You could easily do the 2 Stargate Corsair and 4 Gate Speed Zealots underneath it, and fake a normal build, and then show your Corsairs when you have like 5, and that might work. I mean, that's kind of like what I like to do on Troy, and then of course, Troy's a little bit different because you can take the whole map and easily
Right.
defend it. Anyway, I don't know. It sounds fun. It sounds like if you're playing against someone who's not as good as you could win with it pretty consistently. But
All
I
right.
mean, I don't know.
Well, generally, my builds that I recommend, and these are not for getting better, they're generally builds that require very little micro or APM, such as, carriers. I have problems with every aspect of my game. Micro, obviously, and also macro. I can't keep my resource count low. So, can you give me a good, easy build for Protoss versus Zerg then that isn't like 2 gate, rush, but is relatively easy to do? Enlighten me and my other viewers.
Well, I
Oh,
have a
APM.
similar problem in that I mean my APM may be higher than yours, but it's still
A little bit.
I still feel really slow. I still feel like I'm behind a lot. Um, I tend to copy Noni's PVZ a lot. His build that he did all through TSL was really nice. The fast Templar with ranged Dragoon timing rush, and Dragoons are actually really easy to micro without being very fast because they can take a pretty good bit of damage.
Hmm.
They kill units pretty quickly. So really, as long as you can, cast some good storms and move your Dragoons around, you'll be okay. It works pretty well. It can be a little trickier whenever you're trying to bust out of a lurk or containment and you're having to dance your observer and things like that. But one piece of advice that I can give you on building up your speed and your micro is not to focus on your speed or micro. Just play your games, focus on
Hmm.
learning what to do and when to do it. The little details of how to do it are things that you will accumulate through focusing on the big picture. Things like, obviously you can't just sit and focus on splitting your probes. You don't split your probes, leave the
Right.
game, and then start a new one and do it again. It's the same with any other kind of micro. You have to focus on something a little more broad, but then you still want to try to be specific. For example, pick a map, pick a matchup, pick a build, and do the same build until you know every possible branch of the build all the way through the game. And in the process, you're going to find that the more capable you are of executing your build the same way every time you play, the more free actions you're going to have to perform other things like casting storms, managing a shuttle, whatever. And if you focus on learning your builds, learning what to do and when to do it, the rest of the mechanics will come along with practice.
There you go. You heard it from the master. That's very good advice there. I hope you guys were all taking notes. Certainly, it's a pleasure to have you around, Ladder. And certainly, best of luck to you in the World Cyber Games USA. I'll certainly be watching Diggity and Moletrap's casts and looking forward to their interviews and watching you play.
Thank you. I hope to do well, but I'm not expecting a whole lot from myself, although I am expecting to have a lot of fun. I don't do a lot of live events, so I'm looking forward to meeting lots of people that I've known for years and years, and it should be a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, thank you, and thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed another commentary here, and maybe we'll have you back one of these days, with the rest of the crew or some other people. Have you enjoyed your commentary experience here so far? And that's my final question.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. It's a good way to kill some time, and I really like to follow the pro scene, but I tend to just not do it. And this is a good way for me to know what's going on and to learn how to play these maps ahead of time. So, yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, and thank you guys for watching.